In 1963, Ford had a massive problem. They were getting absolutely humiliated. On the street, the total performance marketing campaign promised speed. But on the drag strip, it was a bloodbath. The 1963 Galaxy was a beautiful car. Don't get me wrong, but it was a tank. It weighed nearly 4,000 pounds. Meanwhile, Chevy and Chrysler were stripping weight, cutting corners, and leaving the blue oval in the dust every single Sunday. Henry Ford II wasn't having it. He didn't just want to compete, he wanted revenge. He issued a mandate that effectively said, "Win. I don't care how." The engineers knew the Galaxy was too fat. They needed a new platform. They looked at the mid-sized Fairlane, Mom's grocery getter, and had a crazy idea. What if we took our biggest, nastiest engine and shoved it into our lightest car? This wasn't engineering. This was an act of war. This is the story of the 1964 Ford Thunderbolt. The car that lied its way to legend status. To make the Fairlane competitive in the NHRA Super Stock class, it had to weigh 3,200 pounds. A stock Fairlane was way heavier than that. So, Ford put this car on the most extreme diet in automotive history. We aren't talking about removing the spare tire. We're talking about gutting the soul of the car. First, the steel was thrown in the trash. The hood, fiberglass. The front fenders, fiberglass. But they didn't stop there. Look at the windows. That's not glass. That is plexiglass. Lightweight acrylic. The bumpers were aluminum, held on by lightweight brackets. Open the door and it gets even crazier. Sound deadening? Gone. Heater? Ripped out. A radio? Forget it. Listen to the engine. Passenger side, sun visor? Deleted. Because why does the passenger need to see? Armrests? Gone. They even looked at the seats and said, "Too heavy." They went to the commercial van department and ripped the lightweight bucket seats out of the Ford Econoline van. Yes, you heard me right. The fastest car in America had seats from a plumber's work van. They moved the massive truck battery to the trunk for traction. To make room for the beast they were about to drop under the hood. This was a factory-built outlaw. But the weight was only half the equation. The other half was the big lie. Under that teardrop hood sat the 427 cubic inch high-riser V8. This was the crown jewel of the FE engine family. It had massive ports, a high-rise intake manifold. Now, if you look at the official brochure from 1964, Ford claimed this engine made 425 horsepower. That is largely garbage. Everyone knew it. The NHRA knew it. The insurance company suspected it. In reality, a well-tuned Thunderbolt 427 was pushing easily over 500 horsepower, some say closer to 550, straight from the factory. Ford underrated it on paper to slide it into the Super Stock class and keep insurance agents calm. But the coolest part? Look at the headlights. The engine was so tall and the engine bay was so tight they couldn't route air normally. So they deleted the high beam headlights and replaced them with mesh screens. Those flexible hoses ran directly from the headlight holes to the carburetors. It was primitive, it was ugly, and it worked perfectly. It was forcing cold air down the throat of that 427 at 100 miles per hour. So, did the cheating, the lying, and the gutting pay off? You bet your life it did. When the Thunderbolt hit the strip in 1964, it didn't just win, it changed the game. These cars were running 11-second quarter miles right off the trailer. In 1964, that is supercar territory today. Back then it was alien technology. The most famous of them all was Gas Ronda. Driving the Russ Davis Ford Thunderbolt, he was virtually untouchable. He tore through the competition, culminating in the 1964 NHRA World Championship. Ford had done it. They had taken a grocery getter, lied about the horsepower, stripped it naked, and beat the absolute best that Chevy and Chrysler had to offer. They only built 100 of them. The first 11 were maroon, the rest were white. They were never meant to be street cars. They came with a disclaimer in the glove box that basically said, "This car is not for street use," and they meant it. The Thunderbolt was a moment in time that will never happen again. Can you imagine Ford or Chevy today selling a car with no heater, van seats, and missing headlights just to win a race? Never. It was the peak of the win on Sunday, sell on Monday era. So I have to ask, was the 1964 Thunderbolt the wildest factory drag car ever built? Let me know in the comments.